So yesterday was build, build, build because I was working on that double expansion, which is coming along nicely. I should work on that today. But I'm thinking today is going to be sort, sort, sort. Because we've got all these parts here and slowly but surely over time, I want to get them all sorted. Because I feel like that would be awesome. Then we could put epic Lego sets back here. Wouldn't that be cool? And then I vowed to never buy bulk lots again. And then we're just going to be left over with the like slot bins that I create. Like for example, right here, we have 2 massive slot bins. Things that just like are no longer in use and just need to be parted out. So we're going to deal with that one first, and I think we're going to deal with this one as well, which has the original zoo in it. You might recognize some of these like windows and stuff in here. So yeah, we may as well take care of those 2 dirty ones because you know what? There's actually lots of great pieces in there, like green brick, green plate, all sorts of vegetation, fence elements, all that stuff. So those look awesome. Yeah, so Mrs. Bricksie and I spent our morning shipping. How many shipments was it? 70, 72?
74.
74. Not bad. When did we start? Like 9 or something like that? We're actually the masters. Check it out. 11:47. 2 hours and 47 minutes. She's working on the last 4 right now. We're a great unit because she just prints shipping labels and I pick and pack. It works out. Yeah. We're going to continue this exciting day with sorting. Are you fired up or what? What are we going to watch? We've got to choose a good movie. So what are the odds that I get bored of sorting today and I move on to building the custom doubled up X mansion? It's likely, but I promised myself and I also promised Mrs. Bricksie that we would do some sorting today. But technically, we could build the other sections of roof. Like I already built this one. I pretty much just have to mirror that on the other side, and I think we are going to do the top layer of slopes. So we're going to replace the flat section up top. I think we're going to have enough. I hope we do, and if not, I'm going to order them to make sure that we do, and maybe we'll find some when we sort today. However, I went through with a pretty fine tooth comb the other day and found as many as I possibly could. But we could do the midsection roof, the left section, and then we could start working on the foundation. Ooh, maybe I should be doing that today. I don't know. We already did some sorting though. The other day when we were here, we accidentally dropped one of our drawers, that being the light bluish gray tile drawer. And there was like other bins on top of it. I say we, I'll take 50% of the blame because I'm the one that left it out. And Mrs. Bricksie was just trying to clean up my mess and she put it on this narrow ledge right here. Lesson learned, don't put drawers on this narrow ledge because they can teeter over and then it's a lot of work. But we already took care of that. We sorted that by part type and got those back where they belong. So that felt pretty good. And I guess now we're going to continue the sorting process. It's not too bad once you get started. You know, sorting it's all right. It's okay. We have to do it. It's part of being an A-full, right? If you're going to build stuff, it creates a big mess. That's why sometimes I just prefer building sets because building custom creates a big mess. But hey, it's all worth it in the end. And you know what? We've managed to accumulate a massive parts inventory, but we've been buying Lego, geez, for coming up on 10 years, I think now. It's been like 1 decade since we started collecting Lego, and during that entire time, we've been accumulating parts. I remember when I first started collecting Lego, I actually went and got 3 garbage bags out of my parents' basement, and it was all the Lego from when I was a kid. And then I was always hunting down bulk lots on like Facebook or local classifieds and just buying as much Lego as I possibly could just to accumulate parts and create this massive parts inventory. But the problem with doing that is you have to do all the sorting, and when you're done the sorting, sometimes you're left over with a bunch of pieces that really have no use to you. So like I said earlier, I am done buying bulk lots. Because in addition to sorting this giant slop bin, which is all right, that is going to happen because that's just like a zoo breakdown, or I think there was part of like the old beach breakdown in here as well. That's going to happen. There's no way of stopping that, and you just got to break it down, and all of the parts in there, for the most part, very useful to us because we've used them before. But as Mrs. Bricksie and I were doing this, we had a discussion about our part system, not the drawers with all of the sorted parts, but the cabinets and drawers below the parts inventory that we use on the daily, which has all of our overflow stuff. In those cabinets is a bunch of bags, which are all sorted by part type, and it's just like overflow pieces from the parts above. And typically what we do sometimes is we go through these cabinets and we restock up top. And when we do that, we like to go through every single bag. And it has been a long time since we've done that. And what we need to do is go through every single drawer and every single cabinet and find out what's in there. Of course, we have a pretty good idea of what's in there, but sometimes you forget because you can't really see it and it's not sorted perfectly, nor is it identified. But we need to pull everything out, we need to combine some bags, and we need to restock the parts above. And then we need to put everything back in the cabinets and drawers and actually identify what's in the cabinets and drawers using our label maker. But after sorting this giant pile of Lego, Mrs. Bricksie took off for the day. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start looking at the overstock here. I'm gonna pull everything out and we're gonna kickstart that process. And let me tell you, oh my gosh. Oh, it is a little bit overwhelming. Check it out. Like I have an idea of how many parts we have in the overflow bins, but every time I do this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I sort of forgot that we have that much stuff hidden in those cabinets. Like, what the heck? Oh my gosh. Do I have a problem? No, not really. I personally don't think I have a problem. But this is one of the reasons why I don't do as much sorting as we should, because we have so much stuff sorted already that I don't need to do more sorting, because for the most part, we have most of the parts that we require, other than like specialty ones. For example, that X Mansion there requires more dark orange 1x plate and more of those large dark blue slopes, which we don't really have more of in here, and I sort of knew that. So I do still have to order parts, which is crazy to think, even though we have all of this. So when I pulled it out of the cabinets, I grouped it by part type. So for example, right here, this is all the excess plate. And we have tan wedge plates, dark tan wedge plates, green, of course, trans light blue 1x2 plates. And then there's like brown, dark gray, tan, all the watercolors, and a lot of this here, like you gotta admit, all of that are great pieces to have. I can build Mills plates with this. I can build tan sand with that. We can do water with the blue. The green is going to be great for the countryside. So all of this stuff, there's like no waste there. Like that is all good parts that we need a lot of, that we're constantly using. So that's good. All of this stuff here is all trees, which is great because we're going to use all of the trees and hedges and leaves to create more trees, of course. So we need all of that stuff there. And then over here we have all of the like leaf elements for the trees. Sand green, the bright light orange, fern elements there. Been finding those on the pad wall recently. Blessed, like that was amazing. All the different colors of leaves. Those ones we found on the pad wall, like over the last year or so. We've got some dark red ones there, all the green ones. And then over here is all of our 2x bricks. So there's light and dark gray. That'll get consumed very quickly when we build mountains. So all that stuff is good. I might have gone a little bit overboard in some of the masonry colors. Of course, not light and dark gray. Those are the bomb. That's good. Maybe the white I went a little bit overboard on, but I regret not getting more of the dark orange because we don't have any more dark orange and I'm gonna need more for that X Mansion. So I actually need to try and luck out of the pad wall and get more of that stuff. Now my plan was to start brick building some roads, and I still wanna do that, and maybe I'll experiment with that on the countryside because this is all dark bluish gray brick right here. So I can either brick build roads with those, or I can start building mountains with those. Then we have all the other 1x brick. We've got some weird colors, but I can use those for mountain structures. Got like yellow and sand green, like a lot of that. A lot of blue, a lot of turquoise, but once again, mountain structures. There's trans light blue 1x2s. You can use that for a sideways water building technique. And then we have a lot of tile here. Light bluish gray, you know we need that. These have been on the pad wall for years, and for some reason I just keep buying more and more and more of them. So we've got a lot of those. Maybe I could create some sort of trail or something. That would actually look cool if I built a trail using that, right? It's like a, what would it be, like a tile, and then put the wedge plates around the edge, right? White, Bricklinker actually hooked up a bunch of free white, and also we used a bunch of these in the mansion, and I parted out the mansion. I haven't reused them yet. We build our palm leaves with these. We can do the medieval water with this, and also just like various creeks and stuff flowing through the Lego city and the ocean. Light gray jumpers, yes, I like these. Found those on the pad wall one time. These I found on the pad wall when I first started collecting Lego. Remember when the pathways in the old amusement park were done in those? Whew, that was a lot of tile laying. You've seen me use these quarter rounds everywhere in the city. Those are great. Okay, now this is something that I was about to order, and I genuinely forgot that we had it in the drawers. So my solution moving forward with Mrs. Bricksie, when we go through and we restock everything in our actual part system above the overstock, and then we put these back into the cabinets, we are going to make a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet's going to be pretty basic. It's going to say part variety, it'd be like tile, and then it's going to say size, so 2x2 or 2x4 or 1x2 or whatever it may be, and it's going to say color, and then it's going to say drawer or cupboard number, and each cupboard will have a number associated with it, and then we'll also put labels on the exterior of the cupboards, identifying what's in the actual cupboards or drawers. So like brick color or whatever it may be, and we'll put a number on it so it matches up with our spreadsheet. So then if I ever run out of dark bluish gray 2x4 tiles when I'm doing something, I don't have to rummage through all of these different drawers that have like bags packed in them. So it makes it rather difficult. Like you have to unload a whole shelf of bags to find what's in the back. I can refer to my spreadsheet. So that's going to be a game changer. And we've been meaning to update these labels for quite some time. A lot of them are dated. For example, this is not slopes. That's like chopped up base plates. And we've got some rock panels in there. So this needs to be refreshed and updated. And the reason we're not going to do the 6x8 plates is because we're always walking along here and we would bump the parts off. So this here is going to be more so a spreadsheet system, whereas this is going to have the 8x6 plates. And I did confirm when I built my winter village, I did use all of the 8x6 plates that I found on the pad wall. So we can't finish identifying this unless I do some part substitutions. I have 16x16 white plates in the Everyone is Awesome sets. So I'm probably going to be parting out every one of these Everyone is Awesome sets so I can get 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's not going to get me far. That's 4 16x16, so then I can get some of the 8x16s to finish our identification process, because we just have to do it on the far end over there. We don't have to do it here because this is just obvious what's in there. 1x2, 2x2, 2x3, 2x4, 2x6. It's pretty obvious what's in there, but then I need to get 4x4s for the connectors. Okay, now I'm getting sidetracked. But you saw all that stuff there, and you know that we're going to go into a spreadsheet system now, which is great. Snot bricks. For example, I was building the X Mansion the other day, and I was pulling these from my inventory, the 1x1 by 2 2/3 light gray snot bricks, and I didn't know we had more in the drawer, so there you go. That would have been nice to know. There's a bunch of arches here, which is all good to have for like building buildings and trees and landscaping. There's also slopes mixed in here, curved slopes, great for landscaping as well. Things like this, we can merge these two bags. Those were found on the pad wall. Green slopes, we've got white slopes. When I build the ski slope, that's going to be awesome. More dark gray ones for the mountains that we plan to build, light gray in the back there. Green for the mountains as well. So all valuable pieces. There's a few random colors here, which is great because look, what's that? Those are the ones I need for the X Mansion. So there's a little bag that I've got to go through ASAP. But it's funny, as we sort, we just sort slopes into a part bin rather than sorting them into the actual drawers because the drawers are overflowing. And you can see one of them here, that is literally full of slopes. And there's another one over here, which is full of slopes. So for the most part, that's why I don't do a whole lot of sorting, because our part bins are already overflowing and I don't need more red slopes, which are already overflowing in the drawers. So it's one of the other reasons why I don't do much sorting, and one of the other reasons why I vow to never buy bulk from local classifieds again. Over here we have cheese slopes. Green, great for landscaping, giant freezer bag of those. We use this for our water detail in the deep sea. And then we've got some glass panels, which is always good to have for like buildings. These are great for just mountain structure and mill structure. A bunch of these are like the ugly rock panels. I'm not a huge fan of using these 4 wide ones, but we've got a giant freezer bag of them. I bought those a very long time ago when I first started collecting Lego. Also, I've got more of these, which are great. I use a lot of those for mountain building. Window elements. My first skyscraper that I ever built used all these white windows. I ordered these a very, 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 very long time ago. You can actually use these for mountain structures, so I might do that if I don't have a building that I'm going to build using all of those white windows. White windows are sort of ugly in my opinion, white window frames. Then we have fence elements, ladders. Remember when I built that monkey enclosure using that? There's all the glass for the windows. This is all the small stuff. So we've got 1x2s, which are good to have in these colors, I would say. Don't really see any colors that are bad to have. I think those are all good. They can all be used in landscaping, maybe these, but we can just use those for doing mills work or whatever it may be. All the 1x1s right here, 1x1 plates. And this is just like more window glass, more little fence elements, more windows, but not reddish brown, which I need. You got reddish brown curved ones, but not the other ones that I need for the expansion. And then axles. Sometimes I build trees on axles, so I ordered a whack of those back in the day. So that's the entire overflow system, or overflow parts in our system. And I guess Mrs. Bricksie and I are going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb tomorrow and make that spreadsheet. I was planning on doing it tonight, but I sort of want her to be here with me as I do that. And now we sort of have to do it because they're sort of in the way, aren't they? I think so. I think that's really about it for me today, though. I really want to do this with Jose. I think that's going to be better. And maybe I will start working on the expansion because I'm sort of hyped on that project. So I want to get going on that in a big way. Yeah. So that's probably what I'm going to do next. Look at that, though. It's not as bad as you would think, right? Like at first I was like, oh, this is bad. But then as I go through it with you, I realize that when we build trees, a lot of the tree building elements are going to be gone. When we build the medieval area, all of that additional plate over there, like for the water detail and the wedge plates and all that will be gone. When we build mountains or a brick-built road, all that dark bluish gray brick will be gone, and a lot of the random colors of brick will be gone because we're going to use it for supporting it. Some of the tiles there are pretty random. All the curved slopes, cheese slopes, those are all good. So it's actually not as bad as one would think. At first, I thought I was going to say, I got a problem. Like, this is a problem. But I really don't think it is. I think it's good. I think I'm happy that I have all this stuff, to be honest with you. But I'm not happy that we don't have the proper system implemented to find things that we need. For example, I have a bag of light gray slopes. And I was looking for those when I was working on the residential area the other day. And there they are. So now I can go make those changes and come up with a new system. So I'm very, very excited about that. Everybody, thank you so much for coming on by. Please like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Farewell.